Sometimes you need to touch the fire to realize it's gonna burn you.
In the space of 6 years, he'd gone from being a raw novice to going in with one of the greatest heavyweights of all time.
Protect yourself at all times. Touch gloves, good luck.
Not just the greatest night ever in British boxing, that was one of the greatest nights in boxing, full stop.
It's a fight that would define him for as long as he lives.
Boom, look at that. If you're on your back and you can look up, that means you can get up.
It's either now or never, because if he recovers, he's gonna become your worst nightmare.
We have to dig deep, and they're the type of fights that people remember for many years to come. At this time when I fought Vladimir Klitschko, I'm still a student of the game. I'm not saying I've learned everything, but sometimes you need to touch the fire to realize it's gonna burn you.
Here he comes then. Vladimir Klitschko in his 21st straight world title fight.
It was very early on in my career, but I do feel that I could have done with an extra 2 years of experience before I took the Klitschko fight. However, that would have been 2 years too late because Klitschko would have retired. So it was a fight that needed to happen at that time.
At the age of 41, whatever happens tonight, he will go down as one of the great heavyweights, certainly of the modern era.
Fighting someone of that level in Vladimir Klitschko, but the way I'm conducting myself is of someone who isn't of that level, so it was just a massive, like, it just didn't make sense at the time, but I found myself in that whirlwind, and even though there's a massive twister going on around me, my feet are just firmly on the ground.
Personally, would have liked Anthony to had another couple of 12-rounders without a shadow of a doubt, but sometimes you've got to make a move, you've got to be bold in professional boxing. Anthony certainly was. He was keen to do the fight. I looked at it for a few months and thought, yeah, if he doesn't make any mistakes, he can do it.
The sense was a clash of generations, and one of the key questions leading up to the fight was, is it too soon for Anthony Joshua? Is it too late for Vladimir Klitschko?
The king of the heavyweight division for years and years and years against maybe the future king of the heavyweight division. You know, and no one could pick a winner. Who's going to win? Is he actually the real deal? Can he take a shot? You know, he got wobbled against Dillian White. You know, Klitschko's so good though, he's so experienced. Or is Klitschko over the hill now? People would just debate the fight for weeks and weeks, and by the time it came around, it was an absolute monster.
What there was with Vladimir Klitschko going into that fight was an unmistakable twinkle in his eye. He was convinced he was going to win that fight.
When we sat down at the press conference and Vladimir Klitschko pulled out a USB and said, on here, I've fully explained how I will beat Anthony Joshua on Saturday night. You know, and we're all, I mean, by then, sort of the head's completely scrambled.
Physically, Vladimir Klitschko looked like his old self again. And normally as a fighter gets older, you can see them looking a little softer, you know, they lose a little bit of their muscle mass. He looked like he was brand new. Before that fight, I remember seeing him on the scales going, bloody hell, you've really put the work in here.
I saw a lot of confidence in Vladimir Klitschko walk into that ring. This guy had the resume of somebody who's worthy of the International Boxing Hall of Fame. He put together a title reign that could be compared to Joe Louis's or Muhammad Ali's or Larry Holmes. He was in that rare company. He was in that all-time great company.
There was just this feeling that he might be more suited to the big occasion than Anthony Joshua.
You get several different types of people from Vladimir until you get to know him. Once that barrier is broken and you know him, he knows you, you get to one guy. And that guy is just honest, straightforward, hardworking, and in my opinion, he's a genius.
And now, coming to the ring,
the defending world champion, AJ Anthony Joshua.
Wembley is about a 15-minute drive from my house. It's local for me, so I've left the house. I'm driving to this major fight for people that have travelled from all over the world to come and witness it. And there's me just driving like 15 minutes from my house, or my flat in Golders Green. And I'm seeing all my family on the motorway stuck in traffic. I'm stuck in the traffic with them. Like, look at all those bright lights and those torches, my name up in flames. And it's weird because I'm such a local lad. It's so normal, but yet so abnormal. I'm getting my fight kit. You know them beds that you pull up and you've got your trainers and all your training gear underneath? I'm just pulling up my training gear and I'm on my way to Wembley to fight Vladimir Klitschko. I haven't got like a home gym, or I haven't got like, you know, someone cooking for me. I haven't got all these luxuries and a professional athlete, like someone of like the LeBron James, Kobe Bryant's, Cristiano Ronaldo's, these guys that I aspire to be like. I didn't have a setup like these guys.
It is remarkable to think that going into that fight, he was still living with his mum. It was almost like a Rocky moment. You know, when Rocky would leave his pad in Philadelphia, put the bag on the shoulder, and he'd be off to fight Apollo Creed. It was almost like that. You know, but AJ would just do it in North London.
It was a fight where 90,000 tickets had sold in an instant. And when you consider all of the boxing that goes on around the planet, how few fights are watched by 90,000 people.
I don't think that there had been that many people assembled to watch a heavyweight fight in Britain for almost 100 years. That was a big deal.
I'm gonna tell you, to this day, it was the most amazing view and feeling and atmosphere ever. It was incredible.
Let's get ready to rumble! Fighting out of the red corner with his trainer Jonathan Banks, and wearing gray, Dr. Stalehammer, Vladimir Klitschko!
Looking back on it, it means a lot. It was a great night, especially for boxing. And here we have a great man. And here I am now. There's no smiling once again. Serious business, me mugging.
And his opponent, fighting out of the blue corner with his trainer, Rob McCracken. He's wearing white and officially weighed in at 17 stone. AJ Anthony Joshua.
I expect you to obey my commands at all times. Most of all, protect yourself at all times. Touch gloves, good luck. Seconds out!
Anthony Joshua, 18 fights, 18 stoppages, will mean nothing if he can't put the former champion in his place. Has the torch been passed, or is Vladimir Klitschko going to grab it back?
I went in there as if I can't get burnt. Like, this is a walk in the park. You know, add some more petrol to this fire. But, you know, the more petrol, the hotter it gets in there. So Vladimir Klitschko, he's come out from the first bell, you know, back foot balance, lead hand, like the jab in my face. I'm thinking, hang on a minute, you know, stop, wait, ease off with the petrol now. This is getting hot in here.
Terrific footwork and balance. It's one of the things people tend not to talk about with Vladimir Klitschko as well. His footwork has always been exemplary.
I knew Vladimir's footwork was better, but all I wanted Vladimir to come out and start first. And if knowing that he started first with the footwork, AJ had no choice but to follow Vladimir's footwork. AJ wouldn't have been able to keep up with Vladimir's footwork.
Just get sharper with your jab, move your feet to the side. Don't look for nothing.
Show this boy what a boxing match is. He can't outbox you. He's better than this.
Klitschko with a fast start here, bringing the right hand into play there. Just caught Joshua.
Yeah, this is what it's about now. As I said, now I'm not about this emotional business. This is all about, thinking. This is about a fight that I've got to think my way through the fight. I'm up against someone who knows his way around the ring. He won an Olympic gold when I was 7. So he's the last of an old generation and now fighting in the new generation. So he's a boxing encyclopedia.
You almost get the feeling that Anthony Joshua almost has to put them together, Nick, don't you?
Yes.
One punch is just never going to be enough against Vladimir Klitschko, is it?
No.
And you're going to have to give him variety on those combinations as well.
Vlad and Anthony Joshua gave us perhaps one of the most competitive first couple of rounds that I had seen in a long time. We were in a drought in the heavyweight division. We hadn't seen that kind of boxing in the heavyweights in a long time.
Oh, good right hand, Nick.
Yeah, Jonathan Banks thinks, well, we can catch him cold early. But maybe he doesn't switch on for those first few seconds.
Yeah.
Joshua felt that one.
Yeah, he sure did.
I like Vlad, you've seen similar styles like AJ's, but he haven't seen one like yours because you're not coming with no wild punches. You coming shooting sharp shots down the middle. That's always been the game plan.
He's a boxer. He's a boxer technician. He's won most of his fights by knockout because he's smart. He keeps himself out of danger, and he knows how to gradually wear guys down.
What you could see in the first 3 or 4 rounds was a young fighter against a wise fighter. Joshua was boxing well, but you also sense that Joshua was using up a lot of energy doing what he was doing.
He's coming out, he's being very dominant. This is ring generalship. He's trying to use that lead hand. Boom, look at that. Peach perfect right hand, but I'm still fighting back. I'm trying to fight back. No matter what you throw at me, I'm gonna fight back. 1, get out of here, fight back. So let him know no matter what he does, there's something coming back. Throws that right hand, boom.
The heavy shots to take, the quickest way for a boxer to get tired is to get hit. And that's what, people don't always realise that, the more you get hit, the tireder you'll get.
Oh, those punches that he was landing, they definitely felt more accurate, a lot quicker, and they were harder to predict. However, as I said, it's a 12-round fight, so I knew I had the time to kind of figure him out, set my feet, and land those powerful shots that would definitely have a long-lasting effect on him over 12 rounds.
You're quicker than him. Just breathe and relax, okay? You okay? Just breathe and relax, mate.
One of Rob's favourite words is relax. But believe you me, that word relax is one of the hardest words to understand. You're in a high-pressure, high-intense job and a high-pressure, high-intense sport, and then you have someone telling you to relax.
You can give the instructions in between the rounds, but the fighters, he's on his own in them rounds.
However, I've seen an opportunity where relaxing isn't the right time. I have to go full throttle, pour the petrol on now, it's about to get hot in here.
Good start from Joshua there, Nick. That's what he has to do, combinations.
Well, this is a really positive statement here right at the start of this 5th round from Joshua, who's up there, up the tempo hugely.
Oh, another good shot, Nick, left hook.
He's down.
Oh, he's down.
Incredible start.
That's
absolutely amazing.
I feel like it was like a 1-2, big left hook, right hook, left hook, uppercut, whatever shot selection was available, I took it at the time. It wasn't like it was a clinical hup, 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 hup. It was more like boom, 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 boom. And, I felt like I had won the fight at that stage because I put Vladimir Klitschko in the same bracket as my last 18 opponents, where I felt if I hit them, they ain't gonna recover.
Definitely everybody in the arena were like, yeah, our guy won. And a lot of people, a lot of fans were thinking the fight's over.
I thought the same as AJ, which is it's over. You know, he went down. I thought he'd get up because it wasn't the heaviest of knockdowns, but you don't survive after that against AJ because he's brutal.
I looked at Vlad's legs, I looked at his face, I said, he good.
Now, can Klitschko draw on all that experience just to survive this round?
He throws the kitchen sink at Klitschko, hits him with every shot in the book. Klitschko's all over the place. And then all of a sudden, Klitschko comes back with a left hook and the tank empties.
Oh, it's a big left hook, Nick.
Jumped in with that left hook, didn't he?
Vladimir can hook off the jab. You normally don't see heavyweights doing that. That's stuff you see like great middleweights do, hooking off the jab. Bam, bam, and it's real short. He just turns it over and it's dangerous.
Joshua is in trouble.
And it's Klitschko that's coming on strong. He's absolutely ripped the initiative away from Joshua here, Klitschko.
Vladimir, he had been burnt before on 4 occasions. So he treads a bit differently to the rest. So he recovered really well in the 5th round. And, you know, he gave me a beating for a couple of rounds after that.
Yeah, oh, it's a huge right hand from Klitschko. Joshua came back with the left hook, but I think the right hand from Klitschko had more effect. These are jarring, stabbing
another one.
shots.
Joshua's now backing up. Look at this. Klitschko has turned this around completely here in this 5th round. On the floor and bleeding from that left eye, but he is definitely getting through here, and Joshua's looking really heavy left here.
Exhausted.
You're ready to jump in the ring. And now you're back in your seat going, what's happening?
It's an extraordinary response to being floored. Wow, what a round. What a round.
Joshua looks exhausted, Nick.
And I told him you can't make too many mistakes. He's deadly, Klitschko. If he gets into a rhythm and lands shots, you know, normally people don't come back from it.
And at ringside, I know that the feeling was Anthony Joshua, as he went back to his corner, might have given all that he had.
I'm reckless, he's skilled, and he knows how to get through the tough times. I'm now thinking, hang on a minute, normally these guys would be out of there. I should be back in the change room just doing a couple of rounds on the pads, but I'm still in the fight.
He looks like he was gassed at the end of that 5th round, and it's Klitschko up on the balls at his feet really early here at the start of round 6.
So he's come out fresh. He's now bouncing back on his feet, hands down, ducking low, bouncing up. And where I found myself is back against the ropes, nowhere to go, sitting target.
Oh, the jolting right hand sends Joshua down. Anthony Joshua floored and hurt here in the 6th round.
And he kind of feinted a jab, and he just threw a pitch-perfect right hand that traveled at great speed, great accuracy, and just landed at the top of my head. And that one shook me down to my boots and took me off my feet. So he's very experienced and he knew how to fight back. So here he's clinching, he's putting a lot of pressure on, he's pushing me back, and here he throws it unbelievable. See that little bounce? Boom.
One of the biggest right hands I've ever seen up close. I mean, it was the kind of shot where you see 2,000 sweat particles evaporate into the Wembley night. And he went down, and I says, over.
I'm getting ready to start writing about this great upset and one of the greatest comebacks in heavyweight history.
If you're on your back and you can look up, that means you can get up.
It's all unraveling for the Watford man, unbeaten, but now on the brink of defeat.
I rose to my feet and I said, cool, I'm still here. Referee checks the gloves, checks that you're all right to continue to fight. And honestly, in that space of time, it feels like the whole world has slowed down. And you just have to kind of get yourself back into the fight. And as it slows down, it's like it goes into slow motion for a minute and then it just speeds up again. Whoop!
Joshua in a world of trouble, has to avoid those right hands now.
After AJ's dropped, I'm thinking, now we're gonna find out what you really have. I was leaning towards Vladimir Klitschko because we're getting late in the fight. Joshua is in deep water.
You know, if a fighter gets knocked down, he has to learn to stay calm, weather the storm, work his way back into the fight and keep his composure, and that's not easy to do.
Joshua is still wading through this fog. And that time when he's wading through that fog, there still looked like one winner, and that was Vladimir Klitschko.
Well, this is uncharted territory for Anthony Joshua.
I told him, I said, Vlad, listen to me. I said, you have to get him now. It's either now or never. I said, because if he recover, he's gonna become your worst nightmare.
There were two voices in that corner. Jonathan Banks was telling him, you gotta beat him now. And Vitaly Klitschko, his brother, was saying, be cautious.
Klitschko, who's a long-distance fighter. He's been 12 rounds many a time. I think I'd been 7 rounds twice, maximum. I hadn't been past that stage at this time in my career. So I'm now thinking this is new territory.
He is managing to evade the majority of Klitschko's quite obvious attacks now.
Klitschko didn't really jump on him after he had him hurt. He didn't jump all over, and I'm sure now he regrets not doing it. And as he was not closing it, AJ's, you can see his energy bar going up and up and up.
He listened to his brother, you know. That's a brother bond that no one will come between.
Good head movement from Anthony Joshua there.
And a good response off the back end of that as well. Made Klitschko miss. Put a combination together.
Made him pay.
That's just sending a message. That's just telling your opponent, I'm okay. I'm back in this now. And I think Rob McCracken will be a little bit happier about that.
Can't you see it? What are you waiting for? Can't you see it, mate? Took a round up. He ain't got nothing left. We can get to work now. Combinations, jab, right hand, left up.
He's being urged by Robert McCracken now to step up the pace. He just says simply that I've had a rest. I've taken a round off.
Listen to me, the fight's there to be won. Come on, you gotta be smart, Joshua.
To build up or to preserve some energy while Klitschko is letting go of valuable resources himself.
Anthony had to weather a few storms in that fight on the night against a fantastic fighter. He's under real pressure with the jab and the backhand from Klitschko, and he's looking to slow him down and land a couple of good shots that'll calm Klitschko down.
We're actually now getting into the territory where you're starting to look at how the judges might be scoring this one. And they both had a 10-8 round, and so many rounds have been close as well. Right now, I think this one is up for grabs.
I probably had him like a round up, but Klitschko still had the momentum. I was just happy that he was still on his feet at this stage. I just hoped he could steal a couple of the later rounds and win a tight points decision.
Joshua, of course, never been this deep, never been past 7. Didn't think he was going to get past 7 here. When Klitschko had him all over the place, he really has had to suck it up and show some genuine warrior's heart here to take this deep.
Joshua, at least through 7 rounds, had pretty quick hands, and quickness is the bane of an aging fighter.
Is this where youth will have its day over experience? Because I think these next 3 rounds decide the fight. It's so close for me.
I would spar big, strong guys for like, 9, 10 rounds. Or sometimes we spar 15 rounds. And in that fight, I went back to training and I said, I've been here before. I know what this feels like. I've got a third gear in me. And that's when, rather than lowering my standards and thinking this fight's running away from me, I up my standards because I really do put in the hours when it comes to my training. I know I'm always laughing and I have fun, but there's times, honestly, in training when I'm in pain, headache, battered, bruise, and that's the stuff that people don't see. But I thank God that I did do that, because in times like that Klitschko fight, I knew, like the saying is all in the bank.
Seconds out, round 11.
Round 11. What has been an epic battle so far that's seen both men on the floor, and it's Joshua off to the fast start again, just as he did in the 5th round.
Oh, Klitschko's wobbled now.
He is, he's shaky. He's shaky, look at this. Now, can Joshua sense it, and can Joshua find something else? Rattled the 41-year-old right at the start of the round, and Joshua is looking like he's trying to hunt him down here.
Oh,
that's a huge uppercut. My goodness me, I thought he was going to go, and he didn't. Massive shot from Joshua, and now Klitschko goes. It was that first uppercut that did the damage.
Slip, what, uppercut. And do you know what it is? It's the shots that you don't see that hurt the most. And I sensed he was hurt, and I just went in to take him out. Vladimir, being the man he is, the character that he has, he got back up and wanted to fight once again.
Now, he's getting a few more seconds here from the referee, but Joshua is on the brink of the biggest win of his career, a big right hand. Now, can Klitschko rally again? Is there anything left? It doesn't look like it. Joshua's going for the finish, and that might just be that. A brutal two-punch combination.
I feel like I've gone back to the emotional side of me, where my heart's overruling my mind. Because Vladimir's hurt, I think it's a good time to express that ferocity and that passion. It wasn't a calculated combination, but it was just what come natural. And I think a natural fighter is going to throw the best selection of punches. So there was uppercuts, hooks, right hooks, and he went down again. But credit to Vladimir Klitschko, he rose to his feet and he wouldn't go out on his back.
Well, again, he's been given a lot more time by the referee.
Is he going to miraculously recover, Nick?
He's in trouble. Joshua unloading, and that'll do it.
Klitschko has something special in him which can't be taught. Heart, you know, that's the easy way to describe it, but he just has something in him that just shows in his character, where he kept on getting up and coming back to fight.
Too early of a stoppage. He said, but I finished on my feet. He said, I'm happy to walk away.
And I didn't even take him out. The referee stopped it. It wasn't like he was flat on his back. And you know, that's the type of man Klitschko is, a real, true champion.
You're watching something that deserves to be mentioned alongside Frazier and Ali and Foreman. You realise that as you're watching it.
Anthony's biggest test so far, huge test against the former champion. And was he up to it? And that's what everyone was there to see, and a fantastic night.
You just know that there are people out there now who've got those ticket stubs proudly saying, I was there. It was one of those I was there nights.
That was not just the greatest night ever in British boxing. That was one of the greatest nights in boxing, full stop.
This fight was a great fight to express, you know, what it means to be a champion. It was a fight to showcase what I was about. It was a fight to showcase what, you know, Vladimir Klitschko was about, and to the world it just showcased that I didn't let success get to my head, and Vladimir didn't let the failure get to his heart, and we remain friends until this day. and I have a lot of respect for him as a man and as a fighter. But this here in Wembley, this is a defining fight where we both go down, we have to dig deep, and they're the type of fights that people remember for many years to come.